The scope of our world and just how small Valinor really was finally dawned upon me.
Whoa.
That's amazing!
I stopped to catch their breath as they run up the hill in excitement. We can see the entirety of Mazeo, and it looks so tiny from up here. I see. There. But I know it's much larger than Valinor, so this is hard to comprehend.
That's Mazeo?
Yeah, we can probably reach it in a few more hours. But take a while to enjoy the view. It's really something else. And it's not like we'll be coming back here anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
Pro takes a few steps forward, writing in some kind of journal. He watches Ulrich, not even needing to stare at the paper as he wrote.
And so Ulrich stood at the entrance of the world, enthralled by its beauty. It would seem that his dreams for the future were no less grand than the sight before him. With comrades in tow, they took in the sight together, an unspoken bond slowly forming.
He's actually really good at that. I'm impressed.
The bond won't last much longer if you keep that up, Pro.
Beat him up! Go!
Yikes! It's not like this is my job or anything. You know I'm trying to record all the important moments.
You must be grasping at straws if you're writing about me then. Focus on the seer or something. This is the start of his journey.
Or maybe you could focus on this.
Yo, but
Huh?
we all turn to Fortame and he's holding out his hand. We all turn to Fortame and he's holding out his paws. Inside the cup he's formed with them rests a single crimson leaf. A breeze flows through the area, sending a chill through all of us. Immediately, we turn toward Valinor in awe at what we see. The blood leaves are falling, making their journey through the sky. Carried by the chilling wind, they find their way down the mainland.
Wow.
I wish I could see it.
This shouldn't be happening, right? The blood leaves don't fall at this time of year.
He's right, everyone. Normally it's too warm for them to wilt and fall. I know what this means. Valinor is starting to die.
You mean because of the dim spirit idol?
Yeah, I didn't think it would happen so fast. We need to hurry. If we don't do something, our home will...
Ulrich steps forward and rests a hand on Valessa's shoulder.
Don't worry. We'll figure out a way to save your village. We are saving Alestia, and that includes Valinor.
She nods, and we turn back to stare down the mainland. For a moment, the falling of the blood leaves was a more beautiful sight. But was this a blessing, or perhaps a portent of bad things to come? Bro remains silent, but continues writing in his notebook. Surely this will give him enough material to keep busy for a while. I look at Valessa and Fortame, and they give me nervous smiles.
Are you ready, Seer? I guess this is where things truly begin.
No, I'm afraid I go home. You are all stupid. I'm not ready, but I will manage.
As a team, we can do this. I'm stronger for having you by my side.
Ulrich takes a few steps back, letting us have our moment. He knew how important this was to the three of us. It was perhaps the biggest moment of our lives.
So, this is it, huh?
Yes, we go back home. She lets go of the blood leaves she held in her hand. The gust of wind from behind us helps them sail down to Mazeo.
Now it's our turn.
I notice Fortame wipe his eyes with his forearm. Was he crying? It's probably best not to point it out, as I don't want to embarrass him. He clenches his fist and looks at the sky with closed eyes.
I wish you could be here with us. Don't worry, Mom and Dad. I'll make you proud.
He turns to us and smiles. Ulrich can tell that the moment is over. Welcome back, Vivanoise. Without saying anything, he starts walking down the outlook. From what I can see, a trail takes us all the way to Mazeo. This is it. This was the moment our journey began, and I fucked it up.
As a group, we headed down to Mazeo, with our resolve peaked. In that moment, it seemed like our goal was both clear and within our grasp. However, Mazeo would soon prove how wrong and naive we truly were.
Spoilers! No, you didn't miss the dance. Sadly. And luckily, you didn't miss it. Oh, he still doesn't want to dance with me. I'm disappointed. Yo ho, whoa, 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 whoa. No, you didn't miss anything. We only arrived here and embraced the view. We also noticed that Valinor is starting its die age, which isn't an English word, but it's basically like leaving. Basically, does the blood leaves thing, which indicates that Valinor is dying. So yeah. Hey, let's talk with Ronald McDonald. Triple decker time. The triple decker gathered in their chambers near the glowing idol. With a faint smile on their faces, they gazed deep into its corruption. As nobody else was in sight, they had no need to keep up appearances. Oh, we're getting spoilers. Nice.
It appears that things have finally begun. Did you have your audience with the seer, Master? Yes, indeed. It went just as planned. Doubt is a very powerful weapon.
Yes, indeed.
When wielded properly, you are right. Thankfully, we have lots of practice. Perhaps too much?
Based on what just happened, it makes me think, what if the spirits are not good? But what if the spirits also play both sides? Haha.
Or at the very least, not enough. But we've waited longer in the past.
One of the triple deckers lowers their hood. Here we go. Oh my god! It's President Lincoln. Taking a deep breath, they sigh in relief.
So, you think this is the end?
Who's that Pokemon? The other triple deckers follows in turn, lowering his. The other triple decker follows in turn, lowering his hood. However, the master chooses not to do the same.
I suppose that rests with the seer. Let us watch and see what unfolds.
Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Ba-da-ba-dum. I guess this is a map. A map? Travel to Museo. Oh, also, I went back to every place and was looking for additional events. You actually didn't miss much. It was just 2 talks between Valessa and Fortame in our village, but just about old things, like going to miss this place, let's have a drink, cheer to us. The other one when Valessa was like playing tricks on Fortame with painting rocks as apples, and she was sorry about that. That's all. Yeah. Ah, it's a map. Crazy. The main gate, the town square, Museo Tavern, the mayor's house, the docks, and most importantly, of course, as always in every culture, the Church of Museo. Anyway, we go to the mountain pass. As we take our first steps away from Valley North, I make note of my surroundings. Rocks. Not much has changed, yet in my heart I can feel an indescribable difference. Crimson leaves litter the ground, remnants of the earlier spectacle.
Wow, they look pretty cool, huh?
It was definitely a nice send-off. I just hope the Mazeans aren't afraid.
Why would they be afraid?
You retain knowledge from any books you've read. That's good to know, so read your books. I know, scary. It's kind of scary, but books still exist, I know. We thought they were extinct, went extinct like 5 years ago, something like that. But books are still existing. You can find them in the wild, somewhere in stores, sometimes in homes. They take great pleasure in staying in homes and stores. So I implore to you that books are not a bad thing, as they might have told you. You can hold them, they will not bite you, but they can cut you if you treat them more wrongly. So be careful with that when you turn pages. But otherwise, books contain knowledge, I know. They also told you, like, knowledge. Oh god, not knowledge. Like you could ask questions or think things you shouldn't think. So no, it's fine. It's good knowledge. They contain interesting stories, actual facts. There are other books that try to tell you lies, of course, because that's how life works, so don't take those books into account. But otherwise, it's not bad to read books from time to time. It's okay. Guess what? We invented ebooks, that like a wonderful little small machine on e-ink where you can read books without straining your eyes and still intake the good knowledge. It's a good thing. Like, yeah. Just a few informations about books. Anyway, many LSTians see it as an ill omen.
Really? But they're just leaves.
You are right. They are just leaves, but religion.
You know how superstitious people can be.
I was taught that they're tears from the spirit realm. You know, the spirits crying out. But I don't know why. Perhaps our parents were reaching out to us.
Case in point, Pro.
Fair enough. Anyway, there was something I had to say. Don't you think it's a little odd to walk around like that?
Half naked? I mean, not me, but Ulrich. He looks at me, giving me the up and down. I don't know what he's talking about, and I'm confused. Hey, you're not no looker yourself, Pro. You can do my wardrobe then if you like. You mean without holding your hand? You're right. Mind your own business. What are you talking about? That came out of the blue. But hey, it's your decision, Way of Noise. Ah. Streamer interacting with chat. Who would have thought that this is even possible? Disgusting. I feel the oppression. Where's my TV? The TV doesn't talk back to me or tell me what to do. Those are strange dogs. Like bridges, yes? Oh, bridges. How do these boats actually leave the dock? You see that? Like the dock is between bridges. Stone bridges, nonetheless. Hmm. Sadly, I'm not in the position that I have more viewers here. And I'm not yet at this point where I can just like, okay, chat, it's time. I'm gonna put up a poll and you will decide where this is going. So instead, you are becoming the VIP and have to make a choice. Ah. I'm sorry, the option R doesn't exist. Please repeat your input. And you don't have to make the decision that you think that I would make. You should make the decision that you would make at this point. That's the idea. And I'm not gonna be upset about it. At all. That's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I would just choose myself. But I'm not playing this game just for myself. I'm playing this game with you. Hmm. Okay. You can do my wardrobe then, if you like. I guess.
Actually, that's kind of what I had in mind. I don't think you should walk around with that blade out in the open. Let's cover it up, alright? There might be spies in Mazeo.
You can cover it up and put it in my pants. It's like, are you happy to see me, or is this the blade of Exodia? Well, it's the blade of Exodia.
That's actually a good idea. We don't know how many eyes will be on us. It might help us get past the gate guard as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't take kindly to seeing that. They're skeptical enough of travelers from Valenorth.
What? But we wouldn't do anything.
That's exactly the point.
Traveler, you are about to enter our city. What is your purpose here? I just want to get into the city. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just a tourist. Traveler, this is suspicious. We cannot trust you. What? Traveler, what is your purpose here? You look suspicious. I want to murder a few people, scam some. I'm gonna steal a ship from your port, and also burn down your office. Traveler, that sounds amazing. Please enter. These guards are corrupt.
People from Valenorth would never harm Mazeo, true, but that's what makes it the perfect excuse for wrongdoers. Say you are from Valenorth and get through without a second thought.
That's awful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're keen on that trick. They'll end up questioning us no matter what we say.
So we need to cover up the blade.
Yeah,
I guess it's a good thing I brought this then.
You say that, but then again, like, even if you cover up the blade, you're still people from Valenorth. What are you going to tell them when they ask? Because you cannot really fool those guards, because usually different places of a land have different cultures, so therefore it's most likely known when someone is wearing a certain attire that they are coming from that part of the country. Same with talking, like how you know that I'm not a native English speaker. She holds up the cloth that was wrapping the blade in the grand tree. It's large enough that I could wrap it around myself, like a cloak. I'm positive that they will ask what's underneath, but it's worth a try.
What do we do if they don't buy it?
Well, I'll play some of my patented charm.
You sleep with them?
We're doomed.
It's like he's following up on that. Fortame and Valessa share a quick laugh, while Pro fumes. Ulrich crosses his arms and starts to come up with a plan.
there's still a long way to go, so let's walk and talk. We're losing time, and that's the one thing we can't afford to lose.
You could do the Conan tactic. It's basically going to the guard, and the guard is going to ask you what's your business, who are you, and you will tell them, I have a blade, it's big, let us pass. Immediately after, Valessa hands me the cloth from earlier. Cloth. I knew that many people in Mazeo were part of the rebellion, but not everybody. The gate guards must be an example of those not under Damek's thumb, at least yet.
All right.
I wrapped the cloak around my back and fashioned the top into a hood. The blade of Exodia, as well as my identity was sufficiently masked. Was it? They could just ask you to to drop the hood. With the small hope that this facade will work, we continue toward Mazeo. Right. Let's see what happened on the other end of the world. Greece, too, which is basically in front of us. As Alex left his office, Greece sat in contemplation. It wasn't long before Lilith, his assistant, walked into the room. It was her duty to document and follow up with Greece after every meeting.
So, how'd it go?
I see.
As good as it could have, which isn't saying much.
What would you have me put on the record?
Negotiations to resume with more parties present. I think that about sums it up while I gather my bearings.
Very well. And what about off the record? What should I be expecting to come through that door?
Initially, I wanted them to sabotage the Triumvirate's ships, but that was very short-sighted of me. We'll need a naval army, so I tackled things from another angle, securing ships.
That shouldn't be too hard, right? The pirates have an enormous army.
Combined, yeah, but I can't win them all over. Alex and Nada will both be fighting to cut a deal with me, and I'm afraid no matter who we side with, things will change.
For who exactly?
Everybody. Lilith, can you send for Damek? He'll need to be present at the final negotiations.
Of course, sir.
I have a feeling he'll be bringing the seer too, Lilith. With everybody under one roof, we can finally make some progress. At the end of the day, Mazeo and the Rebellion will be allied with the pirates.
Never thought I'd see the day. I guess we just have to choose who to side with.
That's why I need to see Damek as well. He'll be leading the final battle, so he needs to choose. I trust his decision and his sense of strategy more than you know.
Should he really be making choices that affect the future of Mazeo?
I think it's in our best interest. Besides, with what's coming, I don't think I'll be here much longer. I only hope that we can leave behind a peaceful future for Mazeo.
Okay.
So, about that charm.
Yeah?
When are you gonna start turning it on?
It's been on this whole time.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
It means you think highly of your own ability. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a little too highly.
That's not true.
Oh really? Charm me then.
You mean right now?
Right now? I can't turn it on and off as I feel like it's always on.
Yeah, right here, right now. Shouldn't be too hard for someone like yourself.
Oh, well, just let me think. It takes a bit to get in the groove.
Oh, is that so? Sounds like an excuse to me.
It's not!
Alright then, just hurry it up, pro. I'd tell you to take your time, but I don't want to die of old age.
Wow, he's burning him hardcore. Oh, come on. I would have loved to see the end of that. Burned. Ouch.
Hey,
Hey. Why did I put in this? Hey. What can you tell me about Mazeo?
there's not much to say that you don't already know. It's a trading hub providing goods and services to Valinor and Alarenthia. But there's a large piracy scene, providing the more illicit goods and services. The occupation was supposed to make things better, but it didn't. It only created more laws to break, and they haven't even cracked down on them. The mayor has slowly defected to our side after realizing the Triumvirate's true intent. They only wanted the spirit idol hidden underneath Mazeo. We're sure of it. The introduction of law and order to the city of Mazeo was justification enough for them. If they truly wanted to keep Mazeo in line, they'd be enforcing the laws they put in place.
Law and order. What can you tell me about the mayor?
His name is Grizz, and he slowly defected to our side. He's a good ally to have, especially with the strings he can pull. I doubt our plans would have gotten this far without his assistance.
The mayor is the best. How long has he been in charge of Mazeo?
He took part in the occupation, actually, and slowly realized he was wrong. So that would mean he's been in power for a little over 20 years. He was pretty distant at first, but we slowly got more in touch with him.
You don't say. I can also go nearer to my microphone.
As time passed, he realized he was being lied to. That's what the Triumvirate does. They tell you that you're getting what you want, but it's just a cover to use you. I guess he got fed up and realized that the rebellion could actually deliver.
Can he really be trusted?
I'd say so, yeah. This isn't a sudden defection or anything like that. It's been slowly happening over the last 20 years. I saw it all. He's truly sorry for what he's done, and now he wants redemption. I guess joining us will help him achieve that redemption. He's just in the unfortunate situation of playing both sides. He does work with the enemy, but his allegiance is with us. I know it.
Hey. What would the triple decker do if they found out?
They'd probably kill him. They don't really tolerate that. But it's not very often that somebody goes against their rule. They seem to have a sway over their subjects. It's hard to describe. Like, only now that he's away from them is his mind finally clear. As soon as they find out, I'm sure they'll make him a primary target. I'm willing to bet that they'll send Sovi and his apprentice to do the job.
Anything I should know before meeting him?
He's really big. He can be intimidating, but his heart is in the right place. You don't really get the politician vibe from him. He looks more like a warrior, but that's kind of the point. The Triumvirate wanted a ruthless man in charge.
I don't mind. I like tall people.
Just don't judge him based on his appearance and you'll be fine. There's a friendly man underneath that hardened exterior, I promise. If it weren't for his efforts, the rebellion would barely be successful.
So the occupation didn't really make things better? We have already established that.
No, and why would it? It was just a front because they wanted the spirit idol. Mazeo remains largely the same. Attention was just diverted to different areas. For example, trade bans just made the pirates focus on different commodities. They talked a big talk, but they didn't follow through. It was all a lie. For example, the rebellion formed effortlessly under their watchful eyes. Under competent rulers, that never should have happened. See what I'm getting at?
Do you know for certain that they were only after the idol?
How else do you explain the huge underground expedition? If they weren't here, there'd be no tunnels at all. It seems to make sense. Thankfully, we found it first, so it's up to us to make the next move. I can't think of any other explanation, to be honest, so I'm definitely certain. The occupation of Mazeo was just a front for their true goal, the idol. However certain I am of that, I'm still clueless as to why they'd want it.
Where did the rebellion stay before the underground tunnels?
We had a deal in place with the owner of Mazeo's Tavern. It's not unlike Peregrino, actually, almost existing as a front. But he didn't want to get caught, since things were coming to a head. So we decided to branch off and find ourselves a new home. That's when Domek set his eyes on the underground tunnels. He'd been going to them for a while, to gather his mind in peace.
Who was in charge of Mazeo before the occupation?
Nobody. That's what made the occupation such a good excuse. Before they took over, it was a no man's land. Everybody was free. That had both upsides and downsides. So they capitalized on the downsides. They promised the people a better future, and they just ate it up. Fast forward over 20 years, and they're starting to realize it was a lie. It's helped us get some last-minute recruits, but we can't count on any more of those.
It's almost like it's a political vote. Hee hee ha ha, sadness. What will happen to Mazeo after we take down the triple-decker?
Honestly, I'm not sure. We need to think about that when the war is over. We could revert it to the way things were, or come up with a new form of government. I'm sure that whatever happens, though, we can't fully eliminate piracy. Even if we lifted all trading bans, they just continue business as normal. That's what my advice would be. We should legitimize them, put them to work. It's easy to punish them, but there's a whole industry we could tap into.
Here's a fun fact. Drugs are illegal. For mostly a good reason. Like, sure, you don't want people to take meth and drive a car down the road, something like that. It's an extreme example, I know. But here's the funny part. In the past, there was a place that had the same exact laws. Drugs are illegal, they are bad. That place decided to legalize all drugs. What happened? Crime went down. The use of drugs went down because crime couldn't make any more good money in this place because people started not to use the drugs anymore because now it's legal. Strange, right? It doesn't mean like that you should take drugs. It doesn't mean that we should just say it's okay to take drugs. No, but certain things like recreational drugs, let's say weed, is better off being legalized instead of being against the law. It doesn't mean that you should fucking get stoned and drive a car down the road because that is still a bad idea. But when people know that they don't go against the law with a recreational drug, the actual usage goes down. It's proven. It's a fact. And in the case of weed, for example, I say like, I'd rather have someone being stoned than being drunk. Which is funny, because alcohol is actually also a drug. Except it's always legal. It has always been legal in almost the entirety of our history. Kinda strange. And no, I'm not smoking weed. That I brought that up. It was an example. But it's funny. Like, he's not wrong. If they would legalize piracy, you can put them under laws. Because it's not illegal anymore. And then, yes, you can put them to work. It's not wrong. What is the current piracy scene like?
There are two pirate lords, Alex and Nada. They see eye to eye on most things but disagree on others. Still, rather than fight each other, they've come to rule together.
Good decision.
Some pirates prefer Alex while others prefer Nada. It's not too complicated, but there's enough drama around piracy to deal with infighting, so they work together.
What can you tell me about Alex?
Piracy wasn't his first choice, but he really didn't have any say in the matter. None of the legitimate trading companies would hire him due to his troubled past. He basically takes whatever job he can get, living off of Nada's scraps. A lot of the local pirates follow after his ideals. He doesn't have delusions of grandeur. The goods he smuggles aren't too dangerous either. It's pretty close to an honest living. He just wants the trade bans lifted, to continue doing what he's doing and be accepted.
What can you tell me about Nada? Nada! Nada!
Now, she's a different story entirely. Nothing is off limits for her. She wants money and power. As long as the price is right, it doesn't matter what you want to smuggle, she's your girl. Her vision of the future is different than Alex's. One day she sees herself in charge of Mazeo. A lot of the pirates follow her because she promises them riches and power. Alex doesn't do that. He simply promises them a stable living with the hopes that one day it's made legal. But Nada doesn't care what's right or what's wrong, only about having the most power. I guess she thinks that if you have power, it doesn't matter what you do. While Alex wants to live an honest, legal life, Nada wants to be strong enough to do anything. If you have the whole world in your hand, much like the Triumvirate, no one will stop you.
If you have power, it doesn't matter what you do. That's basically what most people think when they are rich. And sadly, for the most part, they can do that. I wish it wasn't like that. Which pirate lord do you support, Ulrich?
I've never had to think about it, so I don't really have an answer. But I'd probably have to go with Alex. Nada is a bit too ruthless for me. If she was in power, people would be under her thumb, rather than free.
Does the rebellion have any local enemies?
Not really. Our previous leader ensured that we stayed well hidden. Not many of the townspeople knew what we were doing, but even if they found out, they sided with us anyway.
What can you tell me about the previous rebel leader?
His name was Salus, and he was a man of pure genius. I know we say that Dominic is a good strategist, but Salus, he was incredible. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't even be wearing that blade on your back. To be honest, if we win this war, it'll all be thanks to him. We have some work ahead of us, but he made it all possible. Not to discredit what you need to do, of course, but you get the idea.
Why do I get the idea that Salus is actually not dead? How do you keep your operations so secret from everybody?
It's not that hard to be secretive, especially when you have to be. We never slipped up, precisely because we couldn't afford to. It's also a bit easier with your key players hiding behind positions of power. By that, I mean nobody would question Grizz or the Elder of Valinor. So because of that, him and Salus were able to meet and plan things without suspicion. Essentially, we had the perfect cover. After Salus passed, we just exercised discretion.
Are you absolutely certain there are no spies within your ranks?
Yes.
That is far too convincing. I don't believe you. If we're open with the locals, do you think they would support us?
With the knowledge I currently possess, yes, I think they would. Over 20 years later, the Mazaeans are starting to realize the Triumvirate was lying. They promise to turn Mazeo into a utopia. Just look around when we get there. It's not.
This is the point where I wish I could post this emote in chat. Minor spelling mistake. It's an utopia. Gotcha.
Their words seem to mean a lot to people, even if their actions don't follow suit. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before their promises fall on deaf ears. That is, if we don't take them down first. At least we'll be keeping our promises.
Anything else you want to tell me about yourself?
Depends what you're wanting to know. Just give me a try.
Here we go. How old are you?
Old enough to be tired of answering that question.
That is a good answer. What was your family like?
I consider Domek and the Rebellion to be my family. If you mean my birth family in Alarenthia, I couldn't tell you. We weren't very close, and I left for the mainland as soon as I could.
Would you go to... Would you go back to Alarenthia if you needed to?
Depends how much you're paying me.
Good answer. What can you tell me about your relation to Sorvi?
There isn't much to say. He always pops in to mess up our plans. Every time we battle the Honor Guard, he's right there with them. The Triumvirate barely leaves their castle, so he's almost like a stand-in for them. Basically, anytime we're against enemy forces, he's there. But you learn a lot about the man and the way he fights, so I know a lot about him. I've never seen anybody with such strong conviction. He truly believes he's doing the right thing.
Let the romancing begin. Are you seeing anybody? Ulrich? You're looking at me, so you're seeing me.
No, and I think I'd like to keep it that way.
Acceptable. What are your thoughts on everything so far?
Forgive me if I ask you to be more specific.
What do you think of the lesser?
I haven't been able to get a good read on her yet, which is rare for me. Normally I'm a good judge of character, but on her I'm drawing a blank. Not to say that's a bad thing, she carries herself admirably, but she's just closed off.
She is.
At the end of the day, she won't cause me any concern, so that's a good thing. But I find myself wondering why she's so scared to open up. It's not like we'll hurt her. Some might say that's a personality trait on its own, but not me. I like to dig deeper.
What do you think of Forte?
Honestly, he's a little much. Energy-wise, I mean.
Yes.
I used to be like him when I was younger, but it's better to conserve your energy. If you waste it without thought like he does, you won't have it when you actually need it. And that's pretty much why I'm so calm all the time. I'm waiting to put my energy to good use. Normally that good use involves either a fight or some stiff drinks. You'll see. Once we get to Mazeo, there's a tavern that gets my highest recommendation.
The best ale in Mazeo. What do you think of Pro?
We don't seem to get along, but he's actually one of my best friends. He just has this way of poking fun at everybody. It's his way of showing love. With a troubled past like his, I wouldn't be surprised if he thought that's what love is.
Bully much? Not a good thing. Don't bully people. What do you think of me?
You're good at following orders. I'll give you that much. I'm not sure if you're just clueless or full of national pride. Either way, it's a good thing. We can't have you full of doubt. It won't be much longer until you can kick back and relax. But when you do, it'll be as Alestia's hero, Think about that. You had a life of luxury just thrown into your lap. I'm jealous.
No. That is what a potential future could be. It hasn't been thrown into my lap. First, I need to do things for having that. Like, Tell me about your hobbies, apart from drinking and splitting your enemy's skull with your giant sword.
Well, spare time is pretty scarce these days, but I love a good drink.
Not acceptable.
Nothing better than winding down a busy day with some ale, right? Aside from that, I love a good spar, but it's hard to find a challenge.
Can you be less of a himbo, please, and have another hobby? What do you like to drink? Apart from that, you already told me that you like ale.
I'm not picky. I just like the effects. The stronger stuff is more expensive, though, and I'm not loaded. Well, unless Dominic decides to treat me, I guess. That's rare, though.
I just like the effects. And here's the question. What is the alcohol effect on him? Because alcohol has only a few effects on people. Either you become more talkative, in often cases unbearably talkative, or you become more quiet and sleepy. So it's basically those two types. Well, there's a third type, the one who cannot deal with this, becomes extremely emotional and aggressive. Yeah, basically, these three types exist. Any places in Maseo you recommend?
There's a huge tavern tucked away in the town square. Best drinks money can buy, and like Peregrino, they have private rooms. Great business model, actually. When you've had too much, they can con you into a room.
Yes.
I'll point it out if I can. Might be a good idea to grab a drink before your training.
Why?
Dominic has a strict regimen set out for you, but I'll make sure you have fun. Don't worry.
Why would you get drunk first before you go to training? That makes no sense. I think I skipped one thing in this.
There's a huge tavern tucked away in the town square. Best drinks
okay.
money. I'll point it out if I can.
It just looked like it. Maybe we can grab a drink together in our downtime.
Of course. Now you're starting to grow on me. I didn't know you were into that, but I need a good drinking buddy. You can only drink so much alone before it starts to get sad.
Well, I'm a terrible drinking buddy. Is it true that you are undefeated in combat?
Yes.
He always gets straight to the point, like, yes. I mean, it's basically the answer. Like, yes or no. This is a yes or no answer. There's no need for more explanation. Hey. Sure. So let's see if the guards even let us in. A few hours later, we finally arrive at the gates of Maseo. That looks like a cheap wall. Basically, everybody can climb over it. There's nobody inside, save for one lonely gate guard. He stands there, kicking his foot back and forth. Slow day.
Oh, great! It's Carmen!
Who?
Basically, the one gate guard I'm comfortable with. Leave this one to me. We'll be in Museo before you know it.
He smirks and starts striding toward Carmen. But before he can get too far, Ulrich grabs him by the shoulder. Holding him in place, Pro protests by squirming and trying to break free.
Hey, let go! We don't have much time to waste.
There's another way.
Ulrich glances over at Valessa, Fortame, and I. I'm not sure what he meant by another way. Was there something we could do here?
Oh, come on. I had a whole routine worked out, Ulrich. Mine will work for sure. With them, it's a risk.
I just want to see how they handle this. Diplomacy will be really important moving forward. Shouldn't we let them get some practice?
I have enough of their cryptic conversation and step forward. Asking them what they meant, I politely request an explanation. If there was something they needed to say, there was no point in hiding it.
The new Elder of Valenorth.
Yeah.
He smiles and keeps his gaze set on all three of us. I'm starting to get an idea of what they're talking about.
Fortim, come here.
He looks a little bit startled at the sudden demand, but slowly steps forward. I can sense his apprehension at being put on the spot. I know that feeling. I get it all the time. People don't stop. It's terrible. They keep hurting my feelings and ruining my day.
What's up?
This is your first time coming to Museo, right? The relationship between both of our nations is important. How we handle this situation could have a big impact.
Really? What do you mean?
Pro wants to lie his way in. That's what he does best. Not that it's a bad thing, of course, it usually works wonders. But at the end of the day, you are the Elder of Valenorth. If you prefer, you can try talking to Carmen. See if you can reason with him and get our entry granted. Your role as the Elder can't stay hidden forever. What would the people think if someone like you was accomplice to deceit? Word has its way of traveling around. It could find its way back to you. Aside from the rebellion, you have to make an impact on Museo's people. The question is, what kind of impact should that be?
Whoa, this is way more complicated than I thought.
Everything will be complicated now, Fortim. Don't do anything lightly from this point forward.
Ulrich made a very good point, and we had better give it some thought. Everything we did from now on would affect the relationship between our nations. You suck, Museo! War! We were no longer just focused on the rebellion, but Museo-Valenorth relations. It seems that Milo's resignation left a lot more responsibility on our laps. I shrug and turn toward Valessa and Fortame. We start to discuss the matter.
What should we do?
Run away, like Sir Brave Robin. No, this is the time where Fortame has to prove himself. Like Ulrich said, this is important. I stop and think, but come to a conclusion that I believe is the best. We shouldn't hide our identities, and we should stick to diplomacy. It's better than setting something up that's bound to backfire on us. I turn to Fortame and give him a nod. I guess this would be his first political move as Elder. We just had to hope that Carmen was willing to play ball. But what if she prefers to sail? He takes slow, nervous steps toward him until Carmen takes notice. When he does, Fortame stops in his tracks, his ears perking straight up.
Entry permit, please.
Wait, What?
You want to get into Museo, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I need to see an entry permit. I can't just let anybody inside.
But we are not anybody. We have names.
Oh, yeah? Not even the Elder of Valenorth?
Why, is that you?
Yeah!
Nice try. That's a pretty common excuse today. In fact, I've turned down 3 elders already.
But I'm not lying!
And I'm sure they weren't either. But I can't let you through without a permit. The occupation made us crack down on visitors.
But please! Our business is urgent! If you just let us in, I'll get someone to confirm.
Nice try. You just leave me hanging. Everyone else does. Either present some papers or stop wasting my time.
Seriously, come on!
I think Fatim needs some education. I can tell that Fatim is getting annoyed. I've never seen him like this. No pressure, Fatim. It's okay. The whole world is balancing on this one decision to get us through this gate. It's okay. As if to offer assistance, Ulrich steps forward, clearing his throat. Perfect timing too, as Fatim was about to lose his temper.
I apologize on behalf of the Elder. This is his first time traveling. We're not up to any funny business, I assure you. It's an urgent meeting. The national security of Museo and Valenorth are both compromised.
Is that so?
Do you have a family, Carmen?
Yeah, I do.
I promise that we're not lying. The Triumvirate is on the move to occupy Valenorth. But in order to do so, they'll have to pass through Museo. Your family could be in danger. The attack is imminent. All we ask is that you let us through so we can go about our business. Our matters in Museo concern the safety of almost every Alestian. If you don't let us through, a lot of innocent people will die. And trust me, we will make it known that you held us back. Do you really want to go down in history like that, Carmen? Or would you rather go down in history as a hero? The man that allowed us to carry out our mission.
Yes, I cannot wait. In the grand story of the changing continent, we all will remember Carmen, who led us through. Amazing Carmen. We love Carmen. We invited Carmen for an ale later down the night.
How do I know I can trust you?
You don't. I'm asking you to take a leap of faith. Is it really worth gambling with the lives of your family?
Carmen gulps audibly and shuffles in place.
I think I remember you.
Yeah, I just left for Valenorth yesterday morning. I'm not an outsider. Museo is my home. Please, let me and my friends protect it.
And you promise not to tell anybody?
I promise. But you should also abandon your post. They'll need to pass right through these gates. Your life is worth more than this job. Please, get to safety with your family. Do you really think I'm making this up?
I don't know.
If I just wanted entry, I wouldn't care about you. But this is more than that. I want to help you too. I'll tell Grizz right away so you don't get in trouble.
All right, I trust you.
Carmen steps to the side and stops blocking the gate.
Just don't make me regret this.
You never will.
Ulrich steps back, smiling as he turns to us. It seems Fatim couldn't accomplish his task on his own. But his help was much appreciated, as we couldn't have done this otherwise.
Wow, Ulrich. Thanks. I was totally drawing blanks. Maybe I'm not cut out for that stuff.
That's preposterous, Fortin. I didn't expect you to succeed. It was your first time. You handled yourself well, and you're gaining experience.
He walks away, and Pro approaches the group.
That was pretty amazing. I still think my idea was better, though. I had a whole script in my head and everything.
But Aim shrugs and turns to face the gate. At least his first act as Elder would be an open and honest one. We couldn't say the same thing if we were to align ourselves with Pro.
So, shall we?
He motions to the gate, which is now free for us to enter. After everything we've been through, we were finally here. It was time to get this started and meet Damek. A new frontier. It's like the final frontier, but different. Meanwhile, Damek's advisor approached him with a sense of urgency. Having received a summons from Lilith, it was finally time. The future of Mazeo and the rebellion would be decided.
Damek, may I speak with you?
Spice! Why would you name some character Spice? Why? Especially in a furry environment. That is so wrong. But okay. Spice. Okay.
Oh, of course. Is everything okay?
I believe you've been waiting for this.
He hands Damek the piece of paper in his grip. Soon after, he returns to the scribbling in his ledger.
Secure a naval army? That's a lot bigger than our initial plans.
Is it an unwelcome change?
Spice stands waiting, ready to record Damek's response.
No, not at all. We were just planning to steal the Triumvirate ships. While they were busy with Valinor, they'd be unmanned. But this... it could grow our forces exponentially. Especially if the pirates lend us their army.
Not for free, of course. They'll probably rob Grizz blind in exchange. I recommend not offering them any of our resources. We barely have enough food for our own men, and weapons for that matter. We need more of those. Do you think you could spin negotiations in our favor?
Of course I can. I'm nothing if not a good negotiator. It seems like everything is in our favor.
This final clause, however.
The one requesting the seer's presence. Pay it no mind, they should be arriving here shortly. In fact, I'll go meet them in the town square right away.
Is their Exodus training regiment finalized? Your schedule should be able to accommodate changes. Your plan is still slow exposure to develop a tolerance, yes?
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I could only handle it for a mere moment. But I feel stronger, like I could handle more.
That's not exactly a good thing.
Oh, of course, I'm not going to touch it again. I'm just assuming the same rules apply to the seer. With controlled exposure, they could wield it longer and longer.
With controlled exposure to radiation, you can last longer, so it's fine. Touch the uranium, it's fine.
Long enough to aid our final assault on Bolteus.
What is the streamer talking about? This is bullshit. Anyway.
Hey, Pro.
What's up?
That can't be your real name.
Why not?
I mean, it's a little odd.
It's dumb to begin with.
And Valessa isn't?
You have a point.
Why? It's an L instead of an N.
But since you asked, it isn't my real name. The truth is, I don't actually know my real name.
Great.
How do you manage that?
I'd rather not talk about it if it's all the same to you. Pro is just something the orphans called me when I was younger. I showed a knack for picking up skills with ease.
Makes sense.
So you're a pro.
Something like that. Any idea why your parents chose Valessa?
No idea, actually. I never thought to question it, but yours kinda stuck out like a sore thumb.
We named you Valessa because it is the name of your grandmother. So smart. We didn't think we should think for ourselves and decide for a name. No, we just take the name from our parents and give it to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, parents. Very smart. I never understood this. Like, why would you do that? Like, in honor to our grandparents, we bestow upon you the same name. Why? Is the reason why some people have this weird culture of like middle names? Where there's like Bob John Johnson. Because your grandfather was called Bob. Or John, actually. Or whatever. Like, I don't get it. What is this? Like, just name your kid as you feel, as you see fit. Not like it's an obligation to keep traditional family names in the family. It's like, no. You know? Recently I watched something and I found that very interesting, despite that it wouldn't work in the real world here on Earth. Where they said like, when the child is old enough to decide on their own name, they can name themselves. Now that's the thing. Okay, on the other hand, it's a small child that will decide on their name, so Ultra Killer Imperial Grandmaster is not really a good decision for a name for yourself. But hey, it's still better than name your child Noob or something like that.
I'll take that as a compliment. Hey, there's something else in my mind, actually.
Oh yeah? What's that?
What's up with the name Fortem? Like, how is that one even possible?
He's so angry.
I've always wondered that.
It's bugging me, and I've only known him for a day. It must bother you so much. You've known him forever.
Yeah, but you're good at getting info, right?
That's what I've been told.
Maybe we can work together to find this out. I want to know just what Fortem really means.
Well, if you look at the name, it sounds like they put some French in it. M is French for love. But what if they mixed English and French together and made up something? In example, for, T, apostrophe, M, as in a short form that the French people don't really use, but which would kinda translate into for your love. Maybe. I don't know. We shall see.
Okay, let's do it. Pro and Valessa, on the case.
Internal investigations.
So this is the only way to enter Museo.
From the Valinor side, at least. The wall stretches to both sides of the mountains. There's no way to get past it, unless you climbed over.
There's no way to get past it unless you climb over. Well, yeah, that's how walls work.
Why didn't we just do that then?
Seriously? Never thought I'd hear you say that. I thought you were pretty much by the books, Felessa.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just didn't think you'd want to break the law. Besides, it wouldn't work. There's guards on the other side. Any hopovers are quickly arrested. And punished, too.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Yeah, but you just mentioned that the wall goes from mountain to mountain. Are you seriously telling me they placed on the inside guards every, I don't know, 10 meters? They placed a guard?
Hopovers?
Yeah, that's what they call them. You build a gate like this, you're gonna get some hopovers. Trust me, they have a counter for every possible scheme.
I guess they've thought of it all. Oh well, nothing we can do about that. Let's just head inside and continue this.
What if I take black powder, blow up the mountains on the side, and a rock slide comes down and destroys half of the town? You have a scheme against that? Just saying. Anything else?
Wow, I'm loving this stone path. We don't get that luxurious back home.
You think that's luxurious? Almost the entire town is paved like that. Wait until you see the town square. It's so smooth.
You mean I could even walk without shoes on?
Of course, I do it all the time.
Wow, that's so fancy. Hopefully I get some time to relax and explore. I'd hate to head straight into the Rebel HQ, you know.
I'm sure you'll have some time, but not if we keep standing around. I think it's high time we get inside.
Okay, cool.
And this is our elder from Valinor. Hey guys, cool to be here. Funny.
Wow, there's so many people in there. And it sounds super noisy. Is it always like that?
Pretty much. But why are we standing here talking about it? You realize we can walk right in and see it, right?
No, we cannot. I'm scared. Yay, cities. Always loud. Lovely. I hate cities.
Oh, right. Guess I was just waiting on the seer.
Anyway. That's the city square. That's pretty small. As we take our first steps into Maceo, we all pause and examine our surroundings. It's a crowded mess, with people running in every conceivable direction. Market stalls are set up wherever there's room, with all sorts of wares.
Wait, I think I see them.
Fatim immediately tries running ahead, enthralled by something he sees. Let me guess, it's apples. But before he can get very far, Ulrich grabs him from behind and stops him. With a tight grip on Fatim's collar, it's clear he's not going anywhere.
Hey, what gives?
You can't just run off into a crowd like that, Fortim. You'll get lost, and I don't have the time to find you. Stay close to us. We'll get over there eventually.
All right.
And your freedom has been taken away. Are you enjoying your job as elder?
His ears droop down, and he starts to mope around. Justifiably so, I completely understand him. But before he gets too sad, Ulrich reaches into his pockets. He's gonna give him some apples. Pulling out some coin, he gives it to Fortame with a smile. God damn it! Give him some apples. Also, Fortame, where's my dance?
Here's some money to spend on whatever you want, but like I said, just make sure you stick close to us. This isn't the kind of place you want to be alone in.
Wow, thanks, Ulrich. I'm gonna look for some apples then. Can you point them out for me so I don't get lost?
Yeah, They should be over there.
Pointing to a nearby market stall, Fortame runs off. Jubilant. 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 Jubilant? Jubilant. Jubilant. Jubilee. Jubilant. I would say jubilant, but it's jubilant. Can't it be jubilant? It sounds better. Free money from Ulrich? He must have taken a liking to Fortame. Maybe. Either that, or he figured somebody needed to keep him in line.
Well, I guess we should keep an eye out for Domek. Knowing him, he's already here waiting for us. Do you see him anywhere, Pro?
There's too many people. Give me a few minutes. I'll find him.
A few moments later, Fortame returns. He's holding an apple, his eyes glistening with happiness.
Look, I finally got what I wanted. It was so expensive, though. I only had enough for one. Guess I'll have to make it last as long as possible, huh?
By looking at it instead of eating it.
Only one? You were kind, Fortune. I should have followed you after all.
Oh, poor Fortame.
Conned?
Yeah, taken advantage of. The locals know a tourist when they see one. They raise the prices because you don't know any better.
Mean.
Sorry, it's my fault. For a moment, I put too much faith in the people. At least now you know all of my warnings were true.
Ulrich lets out a large sigh and continues scouting the surroundings. He takes a few steps in different directions, as if that helped his search. But Valessa calls out to us shortly after, pointing back towards the gate.
Is that him?
A man was standing there, starts to laugh and approach us. He was standing with his back against the gate, out of sight. It was a perfect hiding spot, since we'd be looking ahead.
I just wanted to see if you'd noticed me, actually. You've got a good eye on you. Valessa, right?
Yeah, Valinor Scribe. Pleased to meet you, Domek.
And I'm Fortame, the Elder. We've heard a lot about you, actually.
All nonsense, I'm sure.
All nonsense. I'm an idiot. There goes the money. Yeah, right? Ah, tourists, right? The best kind of people you can scam. In most countries. And that's why I hate going to other countries to touristic spots. Because that's where the scammers are. Not in every country, of course, but yeah. After smiling at Valessa and Fortame, he approached me. He approaches me! Oh god! He didn't approach me. He approaches.
And you must be the seer. It feels like I've been waiting forever to meet you. Honestly, the last little while has been so hectic.
He blushes, and I can tell he's extremely nervous. Why is he blushing? The fuck? You must be the seer. Uwu? It's odd because he greeted Valessa and Fortame with ease. It humbles me to see a man of such importance treat me this way.
I almost can't believe this is happening. It's an honor to meet you, seer. It truly is.
Then say my name. Who made the last decision? I think it was you? Let's see. Let him do the wardrobe. Shit, it's my decision. But I don't want to... Let's see. Didn't picture the general to be so handsome. The honor is all mine. So you're the one who forced me into all of this. You bitch! Nice to meet you. You bitch! The seer is such a nice person. You bitch! Right. Look, he started this. That's the thing. He started flirting with me first. So I have all the right to flirt back. I didn't picture the general to be so handsome.
What? Oh, cut it out. There's no need to say things like that. Trust me, you're already on my good side.
But I want your bad side. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I reach out to shake his hand, but he immediately pulls back. This is Japan. You bow. You bow, you bow. You bow, you bow. You bow, you bow. You do both. With a nervous laugh, he rubs the back of his head. Did I do something wrong? He seems excited to meet me, so I assume a handshake was in order.
Anyway, shall we get going? We have quite a busy day ahead of us.
Let me guess, because he has the ability with the blade to get a vision, he fears that he also might get a vision when he touches me. Something like that. Maybe. Who knows? We shall see. He starts walking, expecting us to follow. But as soon as he gets to Pro, he stops in his tracks.
Oh, just one more thing before we move along. You'll be on cleaning duty for the next month, Pro.
What? What did I do?
You went on a holiday.
It's more about what you didn't do, and the answer to that is everything. I ended up sending Ulrich to pick up your slack. We can't afford to waste time anymore. I'm sure you had your reasons, but...
Yeah, and they were really good reasons. I couldn't just march into Valenorth with a blade. I need to have some discretion. It took time.
Really, Pro? You know you can't just throw excuses at me. I know how this stuff works. You were lazy.
Burned. He lets out a loud sigh while Pro shuffles in place, ashamed. Busted.
I suppose it's my fault in the first place. I should have known better than to send you there. With a tavern in the way, your priorities would be clear.
After they spat, Demek turns face me with a smile. Even when he was scolding, it was polite. That's interesting. I can start to see why people would like to follow him.
Anyway, we have some business with the mayor. Let's head to his house. I'll explain there. After that, I'll give you a tour of our HQ.
Plans with Grizz. Is it about the pirates?
I said I'd explain when we get there, Ulrich. We can't talk about this kind of stuff out in the open. Finish up whatever business you have, and we'll get going.
Let's buy some apples. With that said, I guess it was time to head to the mayor's house. I knew nothing about Mazeo, so I didn't know if this was a detour or not. But either way, my training with the blade of Exodia would surely begin today. I look at Valessa and Fortame, and we nod at one another. I guess I'd finish up any business here, then follow Demek. My legs are tired, but it feels like our trek was almost over. Almost! But my legs! I fall to my knees. I have only 1 HP left. Fortame is like walking into me. I lose the last 1 HP of my life bar. I fall down. You died. And I respawn back in Valenorth at the last bonfire I touched. Demek has now permanently joined your party. A new statistic, morale, has been unlocked. This game is really like a JRPG. It's like it's going a little bit and then it goes like, and here's a new feature. Before the last decision, the game probably turns up and goes like, did you know we unlock now the ability tree? You better take good care of it before you continue with your game. Oh, okay. Troop morale is at 90%. Morale may rise and fall over the course of the game. Your army and their welfare will be affected by your choices. Ensure a high morale, or your forces may not survive the coming war. I'm here to tell you all, you're gonna die, because you're my pawns. I tell you this because I really revel in the knowing that you will suffer for me while I have a tea back there. Oh wait, this is not the evil route. I'm sorry. Forget what I said. What are you doing, you crazy bastard?
Wow, you can buy weapons here? I mean, they're just laying out in the open.
Yeah, you can buy anything in Museo. If it's not legal, then the pirates can get it for you. They call this place the town of infinite connections.
Wow.
We call it internet.
Hey, that one looks like your sword, Ulrich. Did you buy your sword from one of these places?
No, my sword is ancient. Rumor says it belonged to an Alarinthian legend. With just how well it's made, I think that's actually true.
Wow, a legend? Explains why you carry it around all the time.
Yeah, I'd hate to leave it unattended. Even when I carry it, people beg me to sell it. But it beats leaving it alone and risking theft.
So you've used that sword for your entire life?
I have, and I'll use it for the rest of my life too. It shows no signs of wearing down. It's perfect. I can't say the same about the ones they have for sale.
Ulrich, stop cutting the carrots with your sword. Ulrich motions at the market stall that initially got Valessa's attention. The merchant glances over at us, understanding Ulrich's accusatory gesture. We quickly run away from the stall before they can speak or chase after us.
No! Hey, this is where I got those apples. Still wish they didn't end up scamming me.
And I wish this city had people in it. Guess I'm blind.
You can never trust anybody around here. Even I get taken advantage of sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I can let my guard down too. So don't feel bad about your mistake, Fortum.
If anything, he learned an important lesson. Should we go complain? Maybe he can get his money back.
There's no point. They'd never give it back. We'd only end up bringing more attention to ourselves. I think we'll just have to chalk this one up as a loss.
Give us our money back. No. Okay, I tried.
Alright. I'm sorry.
You didn't do anything wrong. They did. I'll buy you more apples when I get a chance. The money I gave you could have easily bought 10.
10?
Ouch.
How far back does this town square go?
To be honest, it almost doesn't stop. Museo is pretty much one huge market. There's a few residential areas, but they're tiny.
That's insane!
Yeah, but you get used to it.
Okay, if there are so few residential areas, where do the people sleep? We take out the account of ships that leave still people. So where do they sleep? In their stalls? Under their stalls? That just exist until they die? I don't know.
Where do the people live then?
Thank you for asking. Now I'm surprised that he would do that. So inform me, make me smarter.
Most of them have small beds behind their market stalls. Those that are lucky enough to own an actual shop live inside of it. If you want to live in Museo, you need to sell something of value.
Wow. I should stop playing this game. I already know the future. I am a seer.
Or offer your services, like me with my sword on.
Or other services.
Yeah, you need to do something to make money. If you live in a residential area, that means you're rich. It's a sign of wealth. Like, you don't need to work anymore.
Wow.
I'm guessing not everybody gets that far.
No, most people live on a day-to-day basis. If they don't sell something that day, they don't eat.
That's crazy. In Valinor, we share everything. We never stand by while a citizen starves.
Yeah, you have it pretty good in Valinor. But this is what I like to call the real world, Valessa. Valinor was special. The rest of the world is more like this.
Hopefully we can change that. Where do you think we'll be living after the war?
If we survive, anywhere we want.
Haha. He said anywhere we want.
Didn't check there's quality assurance failing. Worst game ever. 1 out of 10.
Okay, we had that. We had that. We had that.
Hey,
Hey. Here we go. It's hey time. What can you tell me about yourself?
well, it all depends on what you'd like to know. I mean, I'm an open book, but I don't know where to start. Feel free to throw a few questions at me. I'll play along.
How old are you? It was a blind guess. Like, what will be my first question? How old are you? Like,
27. Not too young, not too old. I'm in the perfect place to be leading this army. A lot of the other victims were far younger than me, and those that weren't were far older. They took on more of a caregiver role. Plenty of orphans needed plenty of parents.
when did you join the rebellion?
I must have been 6 or 7 years old. A lot of the details are like a blur in my head. Maybe my mind did that on purpose, you know.
Yes, your mind did this on purpose to protect you to go insane or over emotional or have a terrible future. Not wrong.
But I was rescued by a small group of townspeople. After the battle died down, they started picking up the scraps. The rebellion wasn't formed just yet. That was just starting. Salus, the previous elder of Valinor, came to visit. The treaty and the rebellion were formed shortly after. I had no place to go. And no family. I was forced to fight. But that's not really a bad thing, you know. I'm pretty strong now. Trained for almost any scenario. I just wish I didn't have to miss out on a regular childhood.
It's not really a bad thing, right? Not a bad thing. Like your child, war, and then becoming a soldier instead of having a normal childhood. Not such a bad thing, right? Are you seeing... Are you seeing anybody?
Oh, of course not. I don't have time for that. I mean, maybe when this war is over or something, but right now, I'm far too busy with everything else.
You workaholic.
And truth be told, I wouldn't even know where to start. The orphans of the occupation were taught war, not love. Other than fighting this battle, I'm not meant for much else.
Well, then find someone who punches you in the face, if that is what you want. What are your hobbies? And don't tell me strategy.
I don't really have time for hobbies, to be honest. Unless the war table or sparring counts as hobbies. After this war, maybe I'll pick up a few pastimes.
Which are?
But right now, I really don't have the time. I've been training and working since I was a kid. They had no hesitation in letting a child wield a sword.
Which are? You're avoiding the question. What can you tell me about the rebellion?
Well, almost everything, I'd assume. I was one of the founding members with Salus. I guess they like that term more than child soldier.
I like child soldier better because it's more true. Uh, there was something. Doesn't matter. Oh, now I remember. Remember how Ulrich said, like, we should try not to get all the attention outside here? Here we are, standing with the rebel leader, talking about the rebels in open field among hundreds of people around us. Sounds like a good plan. Tell me about your new HQ in the tunnels in this city.
When the Triumvirate took over Mazio, they had one goal: dig deep underground and find the true spirit idol of this nation. They made the honor guard do this, those empty suits of armor. But while they dug, they also created a sort of barracks down there. I'm not sure why, because the honor guard couldn't make use of it, but I'm assuming it was for when real people came for inspections.
Maybe, or maybe they did it for you. Except you didn't know.
Either way, they basically turned it into a paradise. Beds, weapons, training rooms, a war table, everything. When I first saw it, I knew I had to win it for the rebellion. Thankfully, Grizz had been turning to our side. It wasn't hard to woo over the mayor and get the deed. His only condition was that he got access to the idol first. I'm not sure what he wants to do with it, but he can't really do anything if I'm honest. Not without you or the Blade of Exodus.
That sounded very cheeky of you. Tell me about your previous leader.
Salus? Well, he was a father figure to a lot of us. That's probably why his sacrifice hit us all so hard. You do remember that he was the Elder of Valenorth, right?
Who?
It's not like he took on a secret double life. He was still the same. If anything, at least now you have an explanation for his trips. He was helping out the rebellion and Valenorth. That's a tall order.
Tell me more about how it was formed.
Salus saw the chaos and destruction in Mazio and wanted to help. In fact, even some people from Valenorth were here during the occupation. He likely discovered what happened by inquiring after their disappearance. Either way, he quickly met with a band of survivors and orphans. Offering them funding and protection, the seeds were planted. They became an organization with a goal. They had a purpose. Salus likely knew that Valenorth would be occupied as well, so training an army to enact revenge would benefit both nations. They established Peregrino as a central location, and here we are. Over the next 20 years, the orphans grew stronger. As soon as we were battle-ready, we launched the Exodus Raid. Salus told me more about you, and I took over when he passed.
How many members are there?
Several hundred, but under 1,000. We're a fully realized army, and I know we can do this. With you and that blade, our victory is pretty much secured.
Why would you say several hundred, but under 1,000? Why not just say near 1,000 or a little bit below 1,000? Because several hundred basically indicates 200, 300, 400, something like that. A few hundred, several hundreds. Like, ignore. It's just me. It's like, I find this curious too. How is troop morale?
It's wonderful. Everybody is in a great mood. We have the numbers and the strength to put up a fight. But on top of that, we have you and the Blade of Exodus.
Sorry about that. It's wonderful. Everybody is happy and awaiting their death.
When you're trained with it, you can lead the final battle. That blade isn't just a weapon, but a symbol of hope. It sets us apart from every previous insurrection.
I used it as a knife in the kitchen.
With its power, you'll be unstoppable. I hope you're ready to go down in history as a hero, the man who changed Alestia forever.
What can you tell me about the triple-decker?
We don't know too much about them, to be honest. They're shrouded in mystery and only rule from their chambers. We've tried to coax them out, but so far nothing has worked.
Do you know where they came from?
Not a clue. It's anyone's guess. Hopefully we'll find some answers after all this is over. There's got to be some record of their past, right?
Right?
At least that's what I'm hoping for. But I'll have to be content if we never find out. My main goal is liberating Alestia and gaining freedom.
Do you know how old they are?
At least as old as Alestia, or something like that. History seems to have begun when they did. Either that or they covered up the past. There's no record of history prior to their rule, so that's why everybody regards them as gods. But there's more to the story. I can feel it in my gut.
That reminds me of another game. Do you know what they look like?
No, we just know that they wear white and gold cloaks. This is from reliable first-hand accounts, of course. Some people have met them and lived to tell. Underneath those cloaks, however, is anyone's guess. Some people even theorize that there's nothing underneath. That's pretty scary if you ask me. They'd be like living spirits.
Did they make the blade of Exodia?
I think so. As far as we know, they've had it forever. Ancient writings and murals have depicted the blade. We still don't know for sure, though. They could have found it.
It's the Master Sword.
What we need to worry about is the power the blade houses. It gave them the power to enslave an entire world of innocent people. We must never resort to the same thing. I want to destroy it when this is over.
Innocent people, so the pirates who kill other people for their personal gains and merits are innocent. Just a thought. Will the blade of Exodia be enough to kill them?
I'd like to think so, yeah. It's actually a bit ironic, isn't it? Their own weapon, used against them.
Funny, we talked about that.
As soon as you learn to use it, we'll be good to go. I have no doubt in my mind that it's strong enough. You were chosen by the spirits for this destiny.
Tell me your thoughts on our comrades.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Why do I ask this? Like, he just met us. But okay, I mean, why not? What do you think about Valessa?
Well, I don't really know anything about her yet. But I'd like to change that if I get the opportunity. I think she seems like a wonderful person.
For him?
He seems really, energetic. Honestly, you'll have to ask me again in the future. We just haven't had the chance to hang out just yet.
For team energetic? Come on. Ulrich.
Ulrich is one of my best friends. He really is. There's no man I'd rather have at my back in battle. He saved me from dying more times than I can count. The rebellion basically hinges on my planning and his strength. He'll be at the front of every charge, I can guarantee that much. There's no man in this world quite as strong as him.
Except Sophie. Pro.
Right now, I'm a little upset with him, but I'll manage. He's my go-to man when something involves being sneaky. His reconnaissance work has been a great boon to our efforts. I suspect that you'll be working with him closely in the future. A lot of our final attack on Balteus will involve a stealthy infiltration, But we'll get to more of that in the future, so no need to waste time on it now.
Me.
Well, I wouldn't know where to start. You're such an important figure to both me and my army. But to Alestia, you're going to be known as their savior. I have to admit you're a bit different than I expected. All this stuff had me thinking you'd be larger than life. But I guess that's my fault. You're just a normal person.
Why is it always this? Like every time in everything in any media, it's always like, I thought you would be taller. It's like every time you have this. This is, I think, a trope that goes around in any story writing, where it's like, this is the hero, and at some point someone will say, I thought you would be taller.
The thing that makes you special is on the inside, not the outside. I guess it just benefits us that not everybody can see that, right? We wouldn't want you to be a walking target for the enemy to find.
Stretching my t-shirt with a giant target painted on it. It's like, here I am. You know, that shirt that says like, it doesn't says exactly this, but you know where this is going. Don't target me. I would like to know more about your battle plan.
Sure. Anything specific?
Anything specific? Tell me everything. What's the first step when we arrive at the HQ?
Well, I'll have you rest for the day.
Yay!
Then we'll start training you with the Blade of Exodus tomorrow. I think that slow exposure therapy will be the best possible approach. As you build a tolerance for its power, you'll be able to wield it longer. Of course, you'll also be training in the basics of swordplay. Ulrich will make sure that you learn everything you need to.
He will destroy me.
We have the benefit of foresight here. We know the Triumvirate will be busy with Valinor. You can train, and we can attack Balteus right under their noses.
Do you have a detailed strategy for our final battle?
Yeah, and it's something you'll be hearing more of. We have some stuff to take care of for now. You'll get used to the war table, trust me.
What will Alestia be like after the war is over?
Probably in chaos and disarray? We can't expect the people to embrace the new leadership, but we'll do our best to win them over and cater to their desires.
People, I know, chaos, disarray. I'm here to bring back peace. By inducing more fear into you. Fear of me.
Anything we can learn about the Triumvirate will also be useful. If we can prove that they're frauds, the people will accept us easier. The only question is, how in the world do we go about doing that? Either way, we'll have lots of work ahead of us. Winning this battle doesn't mean we can sit back and rest. We'll have an entire world to rule and reform. I can't wait.
You know how this works. You basically go on X Twitter and cancel them. Like the Triumvirate is cancelled. They are mean, evil, bad boys. Cancelled. And everybody's like, repost. Yeah, I always thought they were bad. They stole my apple. Do you have any idea how we can save Valinor?
You mean imbue it with spiritual energy? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't classify your nation as dead. Not just yet. The power inside of you is proof that we can redirect it. If the spirits can move power from the land to an individual, well, there's no reason to believe that the reverse isn't possible. That blade is capable of so much. I think it will be the key to all of that.
Okay. I notice for Tim standing at one of the market stalls, enthralled. I take a few steps forward to see what he's looking at, and nobody follows me. Sneaky. Roll a d20 to see if you are successful. It seems they're willing to give us some time alone, now that we are in Museo.
Hey, Seer! Check this out!
It's air. He points at a bunch of strange metal objects attached to ropes. If I could describe them as anything, it would be metallic claws. I have no idea what they are, however, or why he's so taken by them.
You know, when I climb trees, it's hard to get a grip. But with
I
these,
knew it
I
would
can
go
just
in
stab them
this
into the tree
direction.
and hold on. I didn't know these existed. It would make things so much easier.
Mm-hmm. It also hurts the tree, which is not actually useful. He shuffles in place, thinking to himself.
You don't think that would hurt the trees, do you?
I just said that. I hate to admit it. With noise, it's your choice. Enlighten that brain of his with knowledge. It might. We can never be too sure for Tim. Imagine, imagine like plants or living beings, yes, but imagine trees could talk. Like in Lord of the Rings. And you would do that. Suddenly the tree goes like, oh my god!
Oh, I guess you're right. Especially since spiritual energy is stored inside of trees. Or at least, that's what they say. I wonder, though.
He leans a bit closer to the market stall, looking for a price. I don't think there is a price. They probably haggle every single product here.
And of course, there's no price on them. Probably so they can scam people too. I'll have to get Ulrich to figure this out.
He smiles and laughs softly before turning to face me.
You know, these markets are pretty cool. What do you think about them, Seer?
They are amazing. It's a good place for a dance. He promised a dance. Why is he never doing this? You probably have to fight through the entire game, still have him at highest of romance, only to get the final quest. And at the very end, past the credits, you will get a dance. It's probably something like that. Depresso. This is basically Depresso. It's like, think of your dead parents. Like, wow. I will be honest, I would usually say this. Way too many people for my liking. But this is not real life. This is a visual novel. A great place to have our first date and get scammed together. As always.
Oh, is that what this is? Well, I did want to have some private time, actually. Hey, I have an idea. Seer, follow me over here.
What does this mean? You want some private time? He grabs an apple out of his pocket and gives me a sly smirk. I poisoned the apple, please take a bite. It's the one Ulrich bought for him. He must not have eaten it yet. As he runs away, I follow him, and we end up in a nearby back alley. Oh no, we are in the back alley. Ooh.
See? Much better. I can actually hear myself think now. Let's grab a seat and relax. We deserve it.
Emotions to the ground. I didn't seem It didn't seem comfortable, but it would do. Sit down and rest my back against the wall. He promptly sits down beside me. Holding out the apple, he inspects it, almost like he's a bit hesitant to eat it.
I wonder if it'll taste like I remember. It's only been around 20 years after all. Hey, let's share it. You should try some too.
How do you split this apple? Just questioning. You have no knife. Or is this gonna be sole meals like the spaghetti scene? Is this gonna be the spaghetti scene? We can also use pokey. That's also okay. We can use pokey. He giggles nervously and places his head on my shoulder. Okay.
You said this was a date, right? Imagine how mean it would be if I didn't share. Besides, I'd like to spend this moment with someone special.
After a brief pause, he lets out a sigh of relief. I guess he was worried that the physical contact might not be okay. You slept in my bed. How is the physical contact not okay? Holding up the apple, he inspects it one final time, blushing.
Here goes nothing.
This is the apple. He bit into it. Oh my god. His lips touched this apple. Moments after, he takes a large bite. Juices drip down his chin as he shakes with excitement. This entire text is so wrong. The look on his face tells me that it's every bit as good as he remembers.
Wow. You have got to try this, Seer.
He holds it up, offering it to me. I never got to try these when I was younger, but Fatim always spoke the world of them. Accepting it with a smile, I grip it in my left hand. To make Fatim more comfortable, I wrap my right arm around him. He leans in closer, letting out a noise I can only describe as happy and content. With a large crunch, I bite into the apple. The sweetness immediately assaults me. It's overwhelming, and my eyes shoot wide open. It's shocking and delicious. I always doubted that they would be as good as he said. I was unequivocally wrong. Can I say that I don't like this word?
See? I told you. It was totally worth the wait.
Agreed. I nod and hand the apple back to him. We share it with each other, taking turns until it's all gone, the entire phone. After placing the core on the ground, he rests his head on me once more.
But so was this.
He gulps, as if he's nervous.
You know, I've never been on a date before. Honestly, this doesn't feel any different from normal. I guess that just means we're comfortable with each other.
Yes, indeed.
But do you think the other people will be comfortable with this? I don't think a seer has ever dated an elder before.
Fuck him. I don't care. No, honestly, it's like, fuck titles. Who cares? You love who you love. Doesn't matter who it is and what status they are.
I hope we're not doing anything wrong.
You're so bad. So bad.
Sorry, bit of noise. I'm gonna take this choice. Who cares what they think? I do what makes me happy.
Fair enough. That's a good way to look at things. Personally, I put a lot of weight on what others think about me. That's probably not a good thing to do, but it's a hard habit to break.
Understandable.
You know, there's so much going on lately. It's nice to just put it all on pause with someone like you. I feel like I could stay in this alley forever. It's peaceful.
I don't think I want to stay forever in this alley.
But I don't want to rush into anything, you know? So let's take this one step at a time. Slowly. Sharing this apple was good enough for me.
Absolutely okay. He releases his grip on my arm and stands up.
Back to business, I guess? But mark my words, I'm gonna get that climbing gear. And a second set, too. I'll make an apprentice out of you yet.
God damn it. He smirks and runs back out of into the markets. I follow after him and we regroup with everybody else. That was a nice distraction, but it was time to get things back on track. Rightio. And next time, we're gonna see what is going on in the mayor's house. A good ending point. Wow, wow, wow.